Internet, my name is Lave and I watched Atomic Blonde, which is directed by David Leitch, who's primarily known in the industry for being a stuntman and stunt coordinator, but he did have a hand in some of the direction of John Wick. And I've got to admit, I was really excited for this film because the film that I saw before this was Detroit, and that was quite a traumatic experience, so I was really looking forward to a balls to the wall, entertaining, fun film. And does this deliver? Sort of. Set in 1989 with the imminent fall of the Berlin Wall, Charlize Theron plays Lorraine Broughton, an MI6 agent who's sent to Berlin to investigate the murder of her colleague and to recover this list, which contains a list of secret agents and their secret identities, which totally isn't the knock list from Mission Impossible or the list from Skyfall. No, not at all. It is. Now, I'm not knocking the film for using that familiar trope. It's kind of what I was expecting and what I was hoping. I think for films like this, the simpler the plot, the better. Unfortunately, this film delivers an unfocused but simultaneously overcomplicated plot, which I can't figure out if they were worried that it was too simple, so they tried to make it seem smarter than it actually is. It really isn't that complicated. All they've got to do is find this list. I think the heart of the problem is there's too many players. So you've got James McAvoy, who's playing a deep undercover MI6 agent who's based in Berlin and is Charlize Theron's point of contact. You're never sure if he's actually a good guy or a bad guy, and to be fair, James McAvoy is really good in his role. He's at his unhinged best. But then you've got interchangeable Russian and German spies who are also looking for this list, and they're also trying to track down Eddie Marsden's character called Spyglass, who claims that he's memorized this list, so he's just as valuable as well. Sofia Boutella is hanging around in the background and seems to be gathering intel on both parties and becomes Charlize Theron's love interest, fulfilling every 15-year-old boy's fantasy. Not forgetting Bill Skarsgard and Til Schweiger, who have small cameos and small parts to play in the film. It also keeps cutting backwards and forwards between Charlize Theron's debrief, where you meet Toby Jones's character along with John Goodman. All of this is happening, and as the film progressed, I just found myself becoming more and more disinterested in it, and I felt that it was just getting in the way of what I'd actually come to see, and that is Charlize Theron kicking ass, which does happen. She's just as good, if not better, than Keanu Reeves in John Wick, but the problem is, and this is a really bad analogy, so I apologise, but it's like getting in a car, starting up the engine, revving it, putting it into first gear and then stalling to go back to tell the really boring plot. The fight scenes are really cool and expertly choreographed, and there always seems to be a stereo or a ghetto blaster or a Walkman, which explains why there's an 80s pop song always playing in the background. That's really cool in itself, but unfortunately Baby Driver just did it a million times better. Visually, this film is very stunning as well. It's got a vibrant colour palette which would make Nicholas Winding Refn jizz in his pants, with neon blues, pinks and purples. It's really gorgeous, and the shot compositions are really interesting. It really gave me vibes of Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill. But here's another really shitty analogy for you. It's like looking at a lava lamp. It's bright, it's colourful, it's hypnotic and mesmerising, but after a while it does get a bit boring. I was really getting quite bored with this film and I was just about to give up on it, but then all of a sudden probably the best action set piece I've seen all year takes place, which sees Charlize Theron fighting multiple people in this building on this stairwell. It then turns into a car chase, which is all seemingly uncut and takes place over 20 minutes. It is unquestionably brilliant. The only thing that lets it down is a couple of dodgy green screen moments, and I did notice a couple of the spliced shots, and there is also a moment where a lorry is driving along in slow motion and it hits this car and the car goes like that. But other than that, it was completely awesome, and I just thought, why isn't the whole film like this? Oh my god. So that's my thoughts on Atomic Blonde, and pause the video if you want to take a closer look at my enjoyment tracker now. The amazing third act set piece just about saves this film from being a pretty average spy thriller actioner. Charlize Theron is completely kick-ass, and it's really good to see because I remember her doing a film called Aeon Flux, and the only thing I remember about that film is that she seriously injured her neck, so it's really cool to see her kicking ass, and she is a complete badass. I would love love to see this character again, just in a better film, perhaps even a crossover with John Wick. I know that wouldn't make sense time-wise, but I'd go and see it. So thanks very much for watching my review of Atomic Blonde. I really do appreciate it. If you can, give this video a like, and don't forget to share the Lave. You can't unfuck what's already been fucked. Subscribe